Hey, this is John Lee Dumas of EO Fire, and welcome to Master Leadership. Great leaders ask great questions, and this podcast takes you on a journey to master leadership with questions that matter to leaders who matter with your host, Lily Sanabria.
Hi, this is Lily, and welcome to Master Leadership, where we connect with leaders worldwide to gain insights on important topics to help us on our journey towards greater significance. If you would like to participate as a guest, or if you have a question that you would like to ask a guest, go to masterleadership.org for more information.
Naomi Bareket is a speaker, NLP trainer, and specialist in ice-breaking networking and communication. She is also the author of The Deep Sea and the upcoming books NeuroSUCCESSology, Life Transformation, and The Jewish NLP.
Naomi has broad experience in linguistics, timeline therapy, hypnosis, neuroscience, and the field of NLP. She has been certified by the American Board of NLP to train NLP and to certify others for practitioner and master levels. Naomi is also the CEO of Bareket Design, an international jewelry design company. Naomi and her Bareket Design sales team have closed business with accounts such as TJ Maxx, Sundance Catalog, Shop NBC, QVC, Beloro, and others. Naomi's passion, charisma, and experience in training groups and conducting workshops make her effective both in the private and business sectors. Our interview will begin right after messages from our sponsors. Have you been wanting to launch your podcast and just haven't found the right resources? I launched Master Leadership Podcast in 2016, and it now ranks in top 1% globally. I've gathered all I've learned and created Master Your Podcast in a Weekend course on Master Your Swag app so that you have everything you need to share your voice with the world, minus those excuses. So download Master Your Swag app on Google or Apple platforms to access the Master Your Podcast course and launch your podcast this weekend. So welcome, Naomi Bareket. How are you?
Thank you. I'm very good. How are you doing?
Well, I'm excited to have you on our podcast. And you're in California, right?
Yes. I'm in California now, near San Francisco.
So I'm in New York, so we're covering the country. All right. So Naomi, tell us a bit about your path to leadership and what you're doing now.
Yeah, so I really believe that now more than ever before, we need to come out with our leadership skills. And I really believe that if we are connected to our unique purpose and mission, this is when we shine our leadership skills the most. And when you think about it, people, what do they want more now than ever before? They need the connecting, the feeling of connection. So for me, that's where I put my stress on. And I noticed that people need a lot of compassion. So many times people, especially in the business world, they forgot about the mission part. They took out of the formula the mission part, the connecting part. So Rami and I, my co-founded virtual influencer, what we did is we came with a method called emotional response marketing to help people really connect with their client and like be there for them and convey messages in a way that really create transformation and give hope to their prospects and clients. And so that's in a nutshell.
Right, in a nutshell. And there's a lot packed in that nutshell. It's really wonderful because you see how we need to connect to our purpose and our mission. But what led you to that point where you decided, okay, this is where I need to be?
It's always start with a place where you find kind of like, in my case, it was, I felt really numb. I came from the world, from the marketing, successfully from a place where we would meet even buyers under Warren Buffett and things like that. But deep inside, I felt numb. And I remember like this morning that you don't feel to get out of bed. It's like, okay, stay one more hour. And I really understood like that I'm a very spiritual person in my heart and soul. And I knew I had to feed my soul somehow. And I have to do mission, doing my purpose, something that will give me a lot of joy. So I remember those moments where I'm like thinking, what is it? I like to serve God. That's kind of like my number one value. And I'm thinking, we believe that the day you were born is the day that the God decided that the world cannot exist without you.
That's beautiful.
Isn't it beautiful? Right? So like, I'm kind of obsessed, not just my expectation for myself, but I'm obsessed to help people to serve their mission.
It's about coming alive, right, in what you do. So you certainly are that person. You know, we met and we're part of a mastermind group. We're the mind masters, right? And I love being a part of that with you because we certainly connected and we were able to up-level our thinking around this. And so I love what you do. And so where can we connect with you?
Of course, I'm on Facebook, Naomi Bareket. I'm on LinkedIn too. And I have a big group of people. We call them virtual influencer. So the idea of the group is we want to attract what we call menches. Menches are people who are kind people, who are people of people. They are mission-driven people. They want to make impact on the world and they want to serve their mission.
And so if I go to virtual influencers, I connect with you. Is there a website?
I can send you the link later. It depends on what program we run at the same moment.
But if I go to virtual influencers, what should I expect to find?
You would find the programs that we are running. So we are running 3 things. So we're running free boot camps for confidence on video, which is like neuro confidence on video, because what we notice is many people want to convey their mission. They don't know how, but also they are afraid what people will say about me. They're afraid of rejection. They think, who am I to like share my leadership skill? Who am I to share my knowledge, right? It's all those limiting beliefs. So we run that free bootcamp with them. And then we have the 7-bit magnet, which we create with them, all emotional response marketing. We tap into the real passion, their real purpose soul. We really tap deep to make sure they are stand out, not trying to blend too much with, people has this tendency to look at other and become them rather than become themselves.
Right.
So we really helping them to shine their light and create with them the platform. And then we have also the NLP, which is neuro-linguistic programming coaching certification program, which while they get the breakthrough from all those limiting beliefs, those trauma that hold them back, those internal conflict that drive them crazy. I want to do it, but like then, and all those self-sabotage. So what's cool about it is that while they get the breakthrough themselves, they also make sure they're mastering the tools so they can help others too. So it's like the ripple effect. Right? Like we believe in ripple effect because I cannot reach everyone. But if I work with people and I do with them the platform and now they reach their people and their people and we make this touch. And if I help these people to break through and they help other people break through, that's what we want. We want to spread the light and love and purpose to as many people as possible.
Yeah. And Naomi, you guys are certainly doing that. So thank you. Now, I'm certain that you've learned a couple of things along the way. So is there anything you want to share? Any quotes, advice, or practice that has helped you most during crisis?
Definitely. I would love to share that with everyone because what I realized is, gosh, if people don't see now that we are all vulnerable, we are all human beings. If they don't see the commonality of being vulnerable to challenges and those things, and they didn't get to the conclusion that we are all created by God, I don't know what to say anymore. Like, what else do you want God to show you to understand that we are a human being? We need to learn to respect each other and love other people's culture, respect it, see it, and love. I really believe, especially now, when you think about diversity and inclusion, and when you think about all those bias, and that's why I love also now more than ever, like to do those coaching and NLP training, because people are pre-programmed with bias. They have fear, not just towards other, but toward themselves. Imagine all the trauma. It's enough that one person was discriminated. Now we think all other people who looks like that will discriminate me, right? So it's so important to realize, and I don't understand if people didn't get the message yet. We are all one in the sense that we have to be united, and it's okay to have different opinion. Just because someone else has another opinion doesn't mean that I don't like him, right? We need like to be open to have conversation, discussion, open people's mind, right? Have a discussion, ask them. I remember when I went to a mediation class and they ask, because it's very open, right? Like they ask us, what pronoun do you want us to call you? So why can't we in corporation or in the world cannot ask people, hey, what is your preferences? How do you want me to treat you? What is important for you? What is your big no-no? What are your values? If we just like have those interview and ask people and learn more about people, wouldn't it be amazing?
Naomi, you really walk the talk because you are that. You're so curious about people, and you and Rami, you love people. You certainly want to see things from different perspectives, and you value that. You value people, you value their souls, you value who they are as created beings. And so I appreciate that, and you absolutely glow, and I love that about you. Now, I know that you wrote a book.
Yeah, I wrote a book. It's called The Deep Sea, like see into your soul and find your inner spark. What is it that you want? Because many of us have no idea what we even want. That's the thing, is like many people can say, okay, I want people to be colorblind. But then, no, I want them to see my color because it's me, it's my culture, right? It's like I cannot live in denial, right? So like people even don't know what they want from themselves, how they want to be treated. They don't know even how to treat themselves. There's so much pre-programmed and trauma that runs even from generation to generation. I had this talk with a lady. She's African American. And she said to me that when they used to be in slavery, the mom would be so afraid that the master will hit her son if the son misbehaves, that the mom will say, no, I will take care of it. Like she would hit him just so the master won't kill him. So she said some people still has this like pre-programmed feeling that the master will kill me if I don't spank my kids, for example, right? I said to her, wow, the first time I've ever hearing this pre-programmed trauma that is carried from generation to generation.
Wow.
So we have to unite more than ever. And I'll give you an example. A friend of mine, colleague of MBA, we were just talking. And we were talking about, we both expert on marketing and stuff. We were talking about social media, and he's from Nigeria. I like stopped all our business talking and stuff. I said, I have to share with you something. I asked my kids, if you had now $1 billion, what would you do? Who would you help? And they said, we will help stop poverty in Africa. So I told him, listen, I'm very passionate and I'm so excited and honored that you're from Nigeria. And it would be my honor to do something to stop the poverty in Africa and the pre-programmed poverty, the belief that they will never get out of this poverty cycle. And I said to him, I specifically run women empowerment group and youth. I also speak to youth. It would be really nice if we empowered them. Like we are like shifting everything is like, oh my gosh, thanks God for this angelical relationship. Look how nice it is to talk to people. Just from talking, we created what we call Tova. Tova in Hebrew, it's good person, good Tova, but you do a good thing. Tova Africa, that runs and empower now youth and women in Africa, in Nigeria. There's so many things that we can do just like by converse with people and have like this amazing work that you do, interviewing people, open like people mind and like show them that there is possibility there. There is hope. So I love what you're doing, Lily. Thank you so much. And Lily, after all, when we are 120 years old and we look at our movie, what we would care the most? How much money we made, or we would care the most of how many people we touched?
That's great to really look at our mind movie or our life movie, right? And at the end, what is going to be our life sentence? And that's what matters. What matters is the lives that we've touched. And so I really appreciate that story. Thank you for just bringing yourself and being who you are. Now, Naomi, as a lifelong learner, what are you learning right now?
What you and me do, this is the way. People need to connect with people. People have to have conversation with people. People need to be curious rather than try to impose their opinion on others. Just be curious. You know what? This is also basic for negotiation. In negotiation nowadays, you don't just declare your opinion and you are like, no, this is you against me. No, We have a conversation, right? We listen to other people's opinion. We are open-minded. We are brainstorming. So even if you think about the humanity kind of approach and the emotional response marketing, it's all the same for business. And now business understand it more and more, that they have to stand for something. They have to fight for something. They have to serve. They have to donate for something. It's not just about me anymore. And it's not just now anymore just about you and your family. It's a community. It's a global. It's a world thing. And don't underestimate your power. Don't underestimate your power. Let me tell you, as the butterfly effect, right? If this little butterfly go like that, right, and its impact, the vibration in another place, right, it's run and run and run. Just like that, each person who listen here, you do have unique gifts that God granted you, and you can go check in your own soul, what are those gifts, and start share it with the world. The world needs you.
Beautiful. And if you can't find that, they can connect with you to explore that. And I know your book, where can we find your book?
So the book is also on Amazon, The Deep Sea.
Okay.
You'll find it by Naomi Bareket. And it's C, pay attention, S-E-E-C, like you see, but it's play of word, of course. And it's also a significant emotional event because our C is biased based on our significant emotional event or experience that we had. Now we are generalize, distort, or delete some of the information naturally, right? We do that. I have another one. It's funny. My mom told me to be quiet. So the child learned to re-examine his emotion, and the parents learn to be more aware of how they speak to their kids.
That's so valuable. I still need it. I have an 18-year-old. I probably still need it.
Listen, Lily, I'm doing my best, right? We only can serve, and like when we have this moment of enlightenment, and we know that the world needs to kind of reprogram what is thinking. It's like we are on automatic pilot, right? So we need as human beings to break this pattern and see how does it serve even myself, those strategies that I constantly do, how does it serve me? And definitely if it doesn't serve me, it's not going to serve other people. If I'm in misery, let me tell you, the people around you will probably be in misery too. So.
That's right. Yeah, when you think of leadership today, what most concerns you and what are you most hopeful about?
The most concern me is the news, truly, because the news is programmed to scare people. It brings a lot of fear. People are sitting and they are panicking. So the news of themselves sometimes kills more people than the epidemic itself because it creates so much fear and so much panicking in people. If you think even about 9/11, that they constantly showed it, people were panicking, people were afraid to move. So it's okay to know what's going on in the world, but like really have your own filters, truly take things in proportion. It's like, how much do you hear in the news all the good things that people do for humanity? Maybe 1%. So understand that it's created to make money, right? They need like people, and people like to be fed by all those chaos and things. Maybe it makes them feel good for them for a minute. Oh, at least I know this. But let me tell you, this is distorted way to look at that. What happened is it's brainstormed to you and it's programmed in you fears. Don't underestimate it. No, try to really bring it down because it brings a lot of fear. When it brings a lot of fear, it makes you biased even stronger. It makes you like more suspicious of other people, more doubting. It's like you live in fear. It's bad for your body. It's bad for your bloodstream. It's bad for your oxygen that run in the room. So I would say this is most concerned because it brings a lot of war. It's always empower the bad thing. And this is not a mindset that you want to be exposed most of the day to. It's better take your Psalms, read your Psalms, have a prayer. Let me tell you another thing. You don't need to watch the news. Something bad happened. People will let you know anyway.
I have a person for that, my mother.
Exactly, right? There's someone who will update you. Yes. Or like they will call you all of a sudden and say, what's going on? I heard there is a fire in California. Oh, really? Okay, good to know, right?
Yeah. That's true. Now, what are you most hopeful about?
I'm most hopeful that people will have open mind, open discussion, and that people will meet other people in the place where other people are. They will meet people and make it about people rather than about themselves. In other words, many people, like let's say they overcome something and they are here, but the way they convey the message is they try to convey to this person who's still in the struggle a message that they are already overcome instead of talking to the message here. Meet the people where they are, not where you are.
Right. You're hopeful that leadership will start to understand that.
Yeah, and remember where you came from. And I really think leaders have to ask them daily, am I in real alignment with my own value and morals? The inner alignment test for me, it's hypocrite test too. Because you need to see that you are standing for your promises. You are a leader. You're not like followers only to like cheat on them or like not make your promises. And we see more and more people make a lot of promises and they don't deliver. So I really believe that you daily as a leader needs to check with yourself, am my talk and what I'm trying to do is one with what I actually do? Because unfortunately, many leaders forget about it. So check yourself daily and don't think you don't need to check yourself. I constantly remind myself, who am I serving? Remember that someone is watching me all the time. And I'm asking myself, right? Even when my student, if they say something, oh, I put it, but I didn't get like. I said, okay, so you didn't get a like. And now because of that, you're not going to serve the people who need you the most just because you didn't get a like. Now you are define yourself by the likes or not likes, or you are committed to convey a message to the world and help those people go through transformation, right? So those daily questions to ask yourself, look inside and say, do I deliver my promises? Do I follow my real passion and purpose?
And integrity takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of intentionality. So I'm with you. I have to reset all the time.
I know you are with me. Lily, you are amazing. You are a real leader. You're doing so good to the world. You are helping people. You are passionate to help people. And I like the way you are thinking. You are very curious. You have conversation with people. You never impose your opinion. You are open. You are like having, and you are asking questions. You say, but so let me ask you a question, because in my learning, in my this, even the way you asking, it's so beautiful. It's with so much grace. And I think people need to learn to communicate like that more.
Well, thank you, Naomi. I appreciate it. Now, we have an option here. You can take a question from a former guest, or you can share a challenge or struggle that you learned from.
I love to listen to what people wants to hear. So sure.
Good answer. Good answer. Okay. So Craig Weldon wants to know, what do you think is the most important aspect of leadership?
I think the most important is like to have faith with the people that you serve, have the courage and faith within yourself and faith in something bigger than yourself. And then if you have a good faith, no matter what hardship you go through and you are committed to serve, then you will be so shining your light from inside and outside. It's like a win-win-win. So I don't think everyone can heal if they don't have faith inside. They need a leader to believe in them, because sometimes people need to borrow. You believe in them. You faith in them. They need that.
That's a great answer, and I'm with you. Now, as a listener of this podcast, what is a question that you would like a future leadership guest to respond to?
I want them to ask themselves, are you hypocrite or are you real? I think this is the question that I want them to ask themselves. Are you in alignment? Are you making your promises? Are you meeting people where they are? Or you just hypocrite that all you care is the money and the conversion? I want to know that they are more than that.
And that's a good way to reflect on our mission and our purpose, to continuously ask ourselves that, because we can toggle, right? Sometimes we need to realign. And so that's a really good question. So thank you. Now, Naomi, is there anything else you'd like to share with our listeners?
I want to reinforce and remind you that the day you were born, God decided that the world cannot exist without you. So be out there, serve your mission, find your light. There are always people who did not go through your experience, that they need your help. And God gave you all the hints by the experience, by the challenges that you go, by the gifts that He gives you, by the impact you do on people. What is something that they say about you that you always make them feel? And go ahead and do it to one more person. serve one more person and one more person, and the world will look so much more beautiful.
That's a beautiful thought and a great way to close this out. I want to thank you so much for adding value to me and to our listeners. It's been a great conversation. In closing, here's a quick message. Coaching is the art of influence that underpins leadership in the 21st century. It is the very thing that can get you from being stuck to being extraordinary. So go to masterleadership.org and sign up to get a free coaching session. Until next time, continue to ignite that leader in you.